Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mayam Tadanti Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Utapatakamanam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakrajadam Sahagana Lalita Shri Raghunatanvitam Sang Sajivam Satvedam Swavadudam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitam Shya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanjakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shashwin, for the wonderful Mangalacharan. Shashwin, would you like to recite the shloka for today?
Yes.
You would like to? Okay, so we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 6, and the shloka for today is text 38.
Okay, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nastapraye Svabhadreshu Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hare Krishna. Aho Devarsil Danyoyam Yat Kirtim Samgadanvanaha Gayan Madhyat Idam Tantriya Ramayat Turam Jagat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Shashwa. Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Shivana, Shailaja Shivana. Welcome to the group.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, where are you joining us from? Shailaja?
I'm
Mataji?
joining from UK, Mataji.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji, for joining us. And you're welcome to the group. To welcome Mataji to the group, let us all unmute and chant 3 Hari Bols. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol. Mataji, we meet every day, even on weekends, and this is the time. So in UK, it is 6 to 7, and it is the same link. So if you would like to join, we have speakers, different speakers every day. On 4 days of the week, we have speakers from the Manor, and then 2 days from the States, and 1 day from Nairobi, and 1 day from Eldoret, which is in Kenya, Nairobi and Kenya. So please feel welcome and kindly join us. Even if you're cooking or something, kindly keep it, listen to us, to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. We'll appreciate that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Mataji, in the UK, where are you in the UK?
Based out of London area.
London. Okay. So you go to the Manor, Mataji? You are associated with Soho or London? Or
No, it's
Manor?
a bit, no, Mataji, not yet, because it's a bit outskirts exactly where I'm staying. So I'm going for Janmashtami. I go like occasionally only, not very regularly.
Okay, that's good. That's how we all started, Mataji. Okay, so let us practice the text till Radhika Kasturi Mataji joins us. She joins us from California, so it is quite early over there. So let us practice the reading of the text while I text her. Lakshmi Mataji, can you please read the text line by line and we can repeat after you, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Verse 1.6.38.
Yes.
Aho devarshidhanyo ayam.
Aho devarshidhanyo yam.
Yat kirtim sargadhanvanaha.
Yat kirtim sargadhanvanaha.
Gayan madhyan idam tantraya.
Gayan madhyam
Idam tantrya.
Ramayati aturam jagat.
Ramayati aturam jagat.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Mr. Prabhu, would you like to read line by line and we can repeat after you?
I repeat like Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. Aho devar shirdanyo ham.
Aho devarshidhanyo yam.
Yat kirtim sanga danvanaha.
Yat kirtim sargadhanvana.
Gayan madyan idam tantrya.
Gayam madhyan idam tantrya.
Ramayati aturam jagat.
Ramayati aturam jagat. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Peter Prabhu. Partha Prabhu, is it possible for you to read the shloka and we can repeat after you so we get the correct pronunciation, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Just keep there. Yeah, I will try. Oho devarshi dhanyayam.
Aho devarshi dhanyoyam.
Yat kirtim sangavardhana.
Yat kirtim sangasvardhana.
Gayan madhyam idam tanjam.
Gayam madhyam idam tantra.
Ramayagda aturam jagat.
Ramayat aturam jagat.
Jagat.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. I think Mataji has joined us. Hare Krishna, Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Danvat
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Please
Sorry,
accept
Mataji. Sorry, Mataji. I got a little bit late. I'm really sorry.
It's okay, Mataji. We use the time to recite the shloka, so it's
Sure,
okay.
Mataji. Wonderful.
So thank you for joining us. Please accept our humble obeisances from everybody in this group, Mataji. We have a new devotee that has joined us as well. So we have welcomed her, Shailaja Shivana from the UK. So we are very grateful for her to join us, Mataji.
Yes,
And-
Mataji. Shailaja Mataji is a friend of mine. She's a very, very sincere disciple aspiring for His Holiness Bhakti Vignan Goswami Maharaj. She's a wonderful devotee. And I did provide this group as reference for joining Bhagavatam sessions. So she's a very sincere devotee, Mataji.
Thank you
And
very much.
she's a wealth of knowledge as well.
Thank you very much, Mataji, for referring
No,
to
Mataji,
her.
not at all, but I would take that as a future blessing, Radhika Mataji. Thank you very much for providing this thing. So I actually joined on your reference. So hopefully, yeah, we'll have a wonderful association for today. I'm very eager to listen to all of your speech and insights.
Of course, Mataji. So this group has been conducting Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam sessions every single day. So not a day they miss. And this is the speciality of this group. And we have completed Bhagavad Gita study. Now it's study of Bhagavatam. And I'm sure you will relish this journey, Mataji. And this timing also will definitely suit you because a lot of people from UK are also on this group as well. So I'm sure you'll definitely be benefited, Mataji.
Oh, that's really nice then. Very nice. Thank
And
you.
we will also benefit from her association. She'll be an asset to the group. Her realization will mean a lot to us. So thank you very much, Mataji, for giving your time, and we are really grateful. Mataji, we have done the Manglacharan, and we have read we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 6, which is conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. And today is text 38, which is the last text of this Chapter 6. Mataji, we hand over to you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Om Madhyana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Srinuvata Swagata Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtanaha, Hridayantas Dohi Abhadrani, Vidunoti Sugrit Satam, Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Sloke, Bhakti Pavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. All right. I'm glad. Actually, the end of the verse has come to me for this chapter. I think it's a blessing in disguise. But I think we've been doing quite a few recaps. But then just for the benefit of everyone, I will do a quick recap and then we can go into today's verse and look at Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now, as we understand, this particular chapter is about conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. So if you look at the first 4 verses of this particular chapter, Vyasadeva is inquiring about Narada's life. He's saying, what did you do after the departure of the Bhaktivedantas who instructed you? How did you pass your life after initiation? How did you remember that which happened prior to the day of Brahma? Because time destroys everything. Vyasadeva is inquiring about Narada Muni's life. And then Narada speaks about his mother's departure. So here he's talking about his tie of affection with his mother, because he was the only son to his mother, who was a simple maidservant. Because being her only shelter, she bound me with a tie of affection. And not being independent, she could not properly maintain me, although she wanted to maintain me. Everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master. And Krishna is the master, and we are all the wooden dolls who are acting under the direction of the master. I was just a 5-year-old child living in a Brahmana school. I had no experience of different lands and was completely dependent on my mother's affection. One night, what happened? While going to milk a cow, my mother was bitten by a serpent, influenced by the supreme time. And I took this as a special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotees. So thinking, I started for the north. So what did he think? So this is a very important lesson that I wanted everyone to remember. The principle here is that even though this Narada Muni was put into a very, very distressful situation, the only affection he had was his mom. And he considered his mom, passing away of his mom, as a blessing of the Lord. Because whatever distress come to our life, it is obviously by the sanction of the Lord, and it is by the will of the Lord for a devotee. So Narada Muni's principle must be very, very carefully understood. If something is going on in our life, it is for our own good, because Krishna has sanctioned it. And specifically for a devotee, it is the will of the Lord. And it is the Lord who plays a role in a devotee's life. So if, as I think Radhika Mataji also described what happened to her last week, and that was a very touching incident, how she took it as a blessing. When something had happened to her leg, how she took it as a blessing. So this is something that we need to learn, and we need to understand Lord's hands in everything. And that is what is Narada Muni is teaching. This 5-year-old boy, he's just a 5-year-old boy, but he's able to have this very, very great realization to say, oh yeah, my mom passed away. It is definitely a blessing, because it has been approved by the will of the Lord. And this is a great learning lesson for all of us. See that, so there is also a mention here. Confidential devotees see Lord's benedictory directions in every step. Again, devotees, at the end of the day, everything boils down to faith. And as I told you, faith is like our mom. The more faith, the more we try to have faith in this pure devotional service, what happens as a result? It is like us following the instructions of our mom very, very carefully. And what happens as a result? We will become very good, because when we follow our mother's instructions, are we going to deviate in our path? No, we are not going to be deviated. We will stick to the path, and we will remain chaste to our parampara. We will remain chaste to the teachings of the acharyas. And in that process, we are going to get peace and satisfaction. Definitely, it is guaranteed. So this is the understanding. After that, what happened? Narada Muni traveled and he was able to meditate and get the vision of the Lord. So 13 to 19 talks about Narada Muni's travel, meditation, and getting the vision of the Lord. I think we went through this verse several times, so I'm not going to go through. After that, what happens? Lord instructs and consoles Narada Muni. Seeing the atoms, the Lord, who is inexpressible by words, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words to mitigate my grief. What does he say? Lord says, you're not going to see me again in this lifetime. But so this, we understood the internal meaning of why the Lord told him that he will not be able to see, Narada Muni will not be able to see the Lord in this lifetime. That is again to develop the internal hankering of a devotee. The Lord did this to Narada Muni. So this is what we understood from the purpose on that particular part. And then the Lord glorifies devotional service. By service of the absolute truth and the devotees, even for a short time, one becomes firmly fixed in me. And after giving up this deplorable world and low-born body, one becomes my associate. Permanence of bhakti. Even the time factor cannot destroy one's devotional service. By my mercy, your memory, you will continue even at the time of creation and annihilation. We all know from Bhagavad Gita, Neha Vikrama Nasosthi. So whatever we do, even a teeny bit of devotional service we do in this lifetime, it is not going to go waste. And then Narada Muni, full perfection, is going to be talked about in the verses 26 to 33. So Narada follows Lord's instructions until death. And then, obviously, we saw the power of chanting. That particular section, if you look at 26 to 33, the power of chanting is very much stressed. And then Narada concludes his instructions and departs. So what are the instructions? What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that Harikatha is the most suitable boat to cross the material ocean for those who are full of anxieties due to constantly desiring sense objects. So no one can stop thinking, feeling, and willing of working processes. But if one wants actual happiness, one must change the subject matter from mundane subjects to the activities of Lord Krishna and his eternal associates. A very important realization that is being talked about in the purport of 34 is that we have to avoid talking mundane subject matter. When we chant the holy names of the Lord, what happens? We are getting distracted. And why this distraction happens, we have to analyze. How we behave during the day actually determines what the mood of chanting is going to be. Throughout our day, what are we involved in? How are we engaging with people? What are the actions we are performing? Are we talking mundane subject matter to people? Are we trying to criticize and blaspheme people? Are we trying to sincerely follow the 4 regulative principles? Of course, no meat eating. No meat eating means no intoxication. That is external. But no non-violence means what? Are we not being violent to people? Are we actually polite in mind, body, and words to people? This is the internal meaning, right? When we are trying to talk about the 4 regulative principles, we have to also not only understand the external part of it, no meat eating, no gambling, yeah, that's all fine. But what about your internal mood? Are we able to work on that, consciously work on it, right? This is very important. Okay, by mistake, you become angry with someone, no problem. As soon as you come back to your, as soon as you realize it, are you feeling repentant about it? Are you going and asking for forgiveness to that person? This is what Krishna says. Of course, we are all conditioned, no problem. But the point is, since we are learning Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, at least after the fact, are we trying to repent about it? Are we trying to act upon it? Are we going to that person and asking for forgiveness? These are all very important etiquettes that we need to follow in order to not offend the holy names of the Lord. So this is very important, dear devotees. That is what is being talked about in the purport number 34, where we need to consciously be aware of what we are doing. Asat Trishna has to be avoided at all points in time, because first of all, it's a waste of our time, right? Second of all, we have so many other things to take care of. We may be lagging behind in hearing, or we may be lagging behind in doing some devotional service. So many things are there which takes up priority. And why should we unnecessarily talk about mundane subject matters? That is Shrama eva hi kevalam, isn't it? And what happens as a result of talking this mundane subject matter is that it affects our consciousness the next day when we chant. This is the problem. So it's a very, very practical point not to talk mundane subject matter for very many reasons. One, it affects our chanting. Second, it's our waste of time. And then it disturbs our consciousness also. We think in that perspective. We forget Krishna during that time. And our essential principle is to remember Krishna all the time. And this mundane subject matter diverts us from Krishna, right? Why should we be involved in such talks if it's not going to be of any use? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, actually in Bhakti Aloka, he explains very much the importance of Asat Trishna, why we should not be involved, what are the reasons. And this is very much talked about in that particular book. But anyways, I just wanted to give you some hints so that you can use it as practical tips, and definitely it will improve your chanting, for sure. Then the 35th verse talks about service to Mukunda. The soul afflicted by lust and greed is not satisfied by Ashtanga Yoga and other paths as by the direct service of Lord Mukunda. Very, very nice, isn't it? We cannot get the satisfaction that we get by chanting the holy names of the Lord and hearing Krishna Katha. These are all boon to a devotee. But we all take it for granted, because of which we don't understand how much relish it can provide, how much bliss it can give. We should definitely have this grateful mood of thanking our acharyas, thanking our parampara, thanking the fellow devotees, thanking everyone who actually inspires us in this process of devotional service. So this feeling of gratitude has to always be there for a devotee. And this gratitude is what sows the seed in a devotee's heart, and it is able to make that Bhakti Lata beach grow further nicely, very nicely. So please, dear devotees, have this feeling of gratitude to everybody who inspires you to remember Krishna. This is very important. And when we develop this mood of gratitude, Krishna will be very pleased. Because when we have gratitude, how is our behavior going to be to that devotee? It's going to be very nice. It's going to be very cordial, isn't it? So what happens as a result? We are not going to insult that devotee. We are not going to commit offense to that devotee because of our feeling of gratefulness. I will tell you a very important incident from Prahlad Maharaj's life as to how he incorporated this principle of gratitude. This is definitely going to be a great learning lesson. I'll keep it for later, but please remind me if I don't do that. Then what happens? As you've asked, and for your satisfaction, I have explained my birth and activities for self-realization. Having thus spoken to Vyasadeva, Narada departed, vibrating his veena and wandering at his free will. The last verse is nothing but it's talking about the glories of Narada Muni. Narada Muni, all glories to Narada Muni, who glorifies the Lord while taking pleasure for himself and enlivening all the distressed souls. Dear devotees, this is a very, very important words from the perspective that what is Narada Muni trying to do? Very important point that Srila Prabhupada has talked about here is that he enlivens all distressed souls. So this is a duty of each and every devotee. When we have a little bit of knowledge, we definitely have to share that knowledge with others who are ignorant. And again, we should not go blindly and say, yeah, you should get yourself into this pure devotional service. Yeah, this is what is the ultimate. As I told you, we need to have Agyata Sukriti, isn't it? For that person to get Agyata Sukriti, what we have to do? We have to first develop a favorable relationship with that person. We have to first be nice to that person. And once he gets that trust, and once he builds up his Agyata Sukriti, because of doing service to a devotee, because of serving you, if he is able to get that Agyata Sukriti, then what happens as a result of getting that Agyata Sukriti, once he's at a point where he's ready to listen to you, because of the trust that you have developed with that person, then what happens? You can feed him the devotional subject matter. Not before that. Otherwise, it will be an offense, instructing a faithless person about the glories of the holy names of the Lord. No, we don't jump into giving this holy name to everybody who don't understand their mahima. No, not at all. First, we have to establish relationship with that person, gain a little bit of trust. And once that person has established that trust with you, after that, you go forward and give whatever that needs. He'll come and ask you, oh yeah, what can be done in this situation? What can be done in that situation? Can you please guide me? I'm lagging behind here. Can you please help me? Because this trust is important. Without this trust, nothing is going to work. Even, say, for example, I'm speaking. You must have trust in me. I'm speaking the words of Acharyas. If this trust is not there, then you may not listen to what I'm saying. You may not get the instructions onto your heart seriously. So it's very important that the listeners establish this trust with the speaker. If that trust is not there, then nothing will work. The heart is not going to transform. Even theoretically, we will not understand the subject matter because we don't have respect for this person. We don't have regard for this person. So it is important to establish trust. And for that, we need to have favorable experiences with the other person so that the other person gets Agyata Sukriti. And when he gets Agyata Sukriti, at that time, we go and tell him the subject matter. Oh yeah, this is Krishna. He's the Supreme Lord. He's whom we have to pray. And we have to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Start with one round, like that. And once we do that slowly, he will also get into this movement. This is the secret, dear devotees. And Narada Muni, he is able to do this transformation on whoever he comes across. This is the speciality. Purity is force, isn't it? And Narada Muni, he has such a great heart. Whoever he comes across, oh yeah, Mrihari, no problem. He's a hunter, no problem. He's committing all kinds of sins, no problem. I'll give him bhakti. This is Narada Muni. And today, I thought we can look into one of the episodes of Narada Muni, how he interacted with his devotee. And then I thought we can talk about the subject matter of chanting. So these are the two themes that I thought we'll be diving into in today's episode. And I also wanted to talk about Prahlad Maharaj, how he felt grateful. Because this is a very known episode. We all know about Prahlad and we all know how much atrocities Hiranyakashipu put him through. But what did Prahlad Maharaj, how did he respond to? This is something that I want to understand. I want all of you all to understand from a philosophical perspective, right? So I thought, let me just go through that episode of Prahlad Maharaj, again, just maybe for 5 minutes, and then get to our theme. Hope that works with all of you. So what happened when Prahlad started to talk to Hiranyakashipu about bhakti? What happened at that time? Hiranyakashipu got very, very angry. He decided that this boy must die. He must die. He must be killed because he is like a disease to the Rakshasa race. Well, Hiranyakashipu was saying, if you see Prahlad Maharaj, he's like a diseased person. Say, for example, if one arm or a limb has some kind of disease, say for example, cancer, then that limb has to be chopped off. Otherwise, it is going to spread to all parts of the body, and it's going to cause trouble. So therefore, although you are my son, you're born of my own body, but if you're not killed, then you will be the cause of destruction of not only me, but the entire Rakshasa clan. And that is why I want to murder you. So now the whole group of Rakshasas, they started to attack Prahlad by their trident, and they started to stab this 5-year-old boy. Prahlad, he was very, very peaceful, remembering Krishna. Krishna, I'm yours. Not a blade of grass can move without your sanction. For one who you protect, no one can kill. And for one whom you want to kill, no one can protect him as well. So I'm at your service. Whatever you want to do with me, be it killing me or be it so be it killing me or be it doing something to me, I'm okay with it. I'm at your service. Again, this is because of his faith and devotion that he was able to always be fixed in the lotus feet of the Lord. Because of his faith and devotion, the Rakshasas, they could not penetrate his flesh with tridents. Hiranyakashipu ordered somehow or the other, this demon, actually he's not a demon. He's a devotee. That is the problem. We have to destroy this devotee. If he had probably been a demon, he would have become very, very popular. See how famous I am. I'm ruling all the 3 worlds. I'm very, very famous throughout the worlds. Everybody is scared of me. Everybody is shivering looking at me. This guy, he has taken himself to a wrong path. So they tried to do so many things to him, right? They took him to a mountain, they threw him down, they put him on the ground, they dropped massive rocks on Prahlad, and he was not at all disturbed. I'm not going to elaborate on all of that, but the point here is that he was not at all disturbed. What do you think is the reason? why he was not distracted at all. And here our acharyas give a beautiful insight, very, very beautiful insight. This is the consciousness of Prahlad Maharaj that our acharyas try to say. So Prahlad explained that his teacher, Sanda and Amarka, he was telling about each one of them. So our acharyas are trying to explain what is Prahlad's consciousness at this point in time. Prahlad is saying, see, my teacher Shanda and Amarka, they are trying to teach me how to exploit your friends and enemies, how to conquer your enemies. But I don't see anybody as friends or enemies. I know Krishna, he is my only real friend. And anyone who actually helps remember Krishna is our friend. And Prahlad says, everyone helped me remember Krishna. You know what? My dad, Hiranyakashipu, he threw me in the snake pit. He threw me into the snake pit and he helped me remember Krishna at that time. Even the Rakshasa demons, what did they do? They tried to stab me with their tridents and spears. And what did they do? They tried to help me remember Krishna. And even Shanda and Amarka, they were emotionally terrorizing me. What did they do in turn? They helped me remember Krishna. So this is the feeling of gratitude. He feels everyone is helping him remember Krishna. This is a very distressful situation for us. If we were put into the situation of Prahlad, would we consider this guy Shanda and Amarka to be our friend? Would we consider, Hiranyakashipu to be our friend? Rakshasa demons to be our friend? Prahlad never developed this hatred because of this. He considered every one of these people, they are trying to help me remember Krishna. That's all. And that is why this boy couldn't be shaken. Prahlad loved everyone. He was seeing everyone. No one is my friend or enemy, and Krishna is my real friend. I see Krishna in everyone. This is the consciousness our acharyas want us to be in. How can we see Krishna everywhere? How can we see Krishna's presence everywhere? This is the faith we need to develop. This faith, of course, is pure because it is Jnana Karmati Anavritam. We know Bhakti is the only way, and service to Krishna is the only way to get to Krishna. It is not that we are looking for karma and jnana as substitutes to get to the final goal. And for anything and everything, we go to Krishna. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, Anukulyena. So this Anukulyena is very important. Whatever is favorable, I do. And whatever is not favorable, I avoid. And again, that is where even I have to improve. The certain things, because of our conditioning, we are going with the flow of conditioning. We get succumbed. As I told you, again, okay, no problem if we succumb, but at least there must be regret and there must be guilt in our hearts so that we can come out of it at some point in time, and Krishna will help us come out of it. At least we have to understand what is anarthas, what is abhilashas. We are able to distinguish this and tell to Krishna, yeah, this is all what I consider anartha, Krishna, but due to conditioning, I succumb to most of them, most of my anarthas. But I want you to help me relieve out of this coming out of the anarthas. And then these are my abhilashas. This is what I need for my spiritual upliftment. These are all my spiritual desires. If we are able to at least discriminate between the two, Krishna will certainly help us through our prayers. Now, there's also an analysis that is given by our acharyas on Hiranyakashipu's mindset. It's very interesting. I'll just say this and then we'll get to our themes for today. Hiranyakashipu, looking at Prahlad, they were mad at him. I mean, he was kind of very mad because it was very difficult for Hiranyakashipu to understand Prahlad. And he could not get Prahlad to be afraid of him at all. And another point is that he couldn't get Prahlad to hate him. That's okay. What? You're having class? You can do it now. Okay. Sorry, Mataji, my son's just listening at the same time he's asking questions. 1 second. Hare Krishna. I'm sorry, Mataji. So, as I told you, Hiranyakashipu's mindset is also spoken by our acharyas, and what is clarified there is that he was not able to understand Prahlad's mindset. This guy Prahlad is not afraid of me. The whole world is afraid of me. And he was also wondering why this boy Prahlad, in spite of me doing so many things to him, why is he not hating me? Why is this guy always loving me? Prahlad loved Hiranyakashipu. He was trying to, Hiranyakashipu was actually trying to break that love. And he could not, because Prahlad had no concern for material enjoyment. He had no concern. He doesn't want, he was not at all selfish. He only wanted to remember Krishna. So of the 9 processes of devotional service, we have examples for each one of them. And Prahlad personifies remembrance of the Lord. This is what our acharyas say, because he was able to remember Lord. And when Krishna is there in our heart, and if we are able to remember him, then all auspiciousness will come to us. No matter, all auspicious qualities will come to us. That is how we behave in a very nice way. That is the reason why we behave in a good way is because of Krishna, because of remembrance of Krishna. Because of that, we get those qualities as well, right? And it is definitely quoted in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the devotee will get the qualities of the demigods. Good qualities, all the good qualities of demigods. This is because of chanting of the glories of the holy names of the Lord, remembering the Lord. Of course, remembering is a little advanced. It is very, very difficult for a sadhaka to remember the Lord. What Prahlad is doing is not ordinary. To remember the Lord is not easy at all. We consciously want to be engaged in hearing about the glories of the Lord. We consciously put an effort, isn't it? But Prahlad, it just spontaneously comes to him. He's spontaneously able to remember the Lord all the time. And that is very exalted. Remembering is not easy. So for remembering, our heart needs to be completely purified. So the sanartha nivritti has to happen to at least 95%. It has to be completed, and then only that remembrance can happen spontaneously and in a very effective way. So it's a very advanced stage that we are talking about when it comes to Prahlad personifying remembrance of the Lord. It's not at all easy. Okay, so this is something that I wanted to clarify, because this actually talks about how Prahlad was feeling grateful in every situation of his life. He was not complaining, why this, why me, why I am put through this kind of a situation. Instead, he was just looking for an opportunity to glorify the Lord, opportunity to remember the Lord. Yeah, this person, he's troubling me. Yeah, this guy, he's troubling me. So I keep remembering about him on and on and on. And what I'm trying to do, I just waste and expend my energy. Shrama eva hi kevalam. Instead, Prahlad thinks, oh, this guy, he's torturing me. But indirectly, because of this torture, I'm able to remember Krishna more intensely. This is the contrast. I wanted to lay that contrast out so we can actually see the difference of a devotee versus a materialistic person. Okay. So anyways, that was one segue. And now we can actually see, I thought definitely we have to glorify Narada Muni, because it's a concluding chapter. We have to definitely glorify Narada Muni. So I thought, let me just look at one episode of Narada Muni and what did he do to his devotees. So this was something that I thought I can talk about, and then I don't know if we will have time to talk about the glories of chanting, but then we can conclude either ways, depending upon how much time we have. Okay, so the episode that I wanted to discuss today about Narada Muni . Sorry, just that my son had a class. All right. So the episode that I wanted to talk about Narada Muni is with regards to Nala Kuvera and Manikriva. I know everyone knows the story, but as I told you, repetition is sattva. So the more we hear the same pastime, more realizations, newer realizations can come to a devotee. So this is this should be the mindset of a devotee. Okay. So we all, when it comes to Bhagavatam, of course, we know the episode of Dhruva. Of course, we know the episode of Prahlad. Of course, we know so many other episodes from Bhagavatam here and there. But we may not know the nuances to the episode. Okay. And on top of it, Krishna will help us realize new things. So we should definitely be open to the idea of listening to the same story, even though we may know it. So don't develop that attitude of disinterest, because this when I was very new, I always wanted to learn something new. And then I realized over a period of time that it's just not, it's just that I shouldn't be looking for new every time. Because what happens after you probably cover up the entire episodes on different cantos and you know the story here and there, then after that, what happens? Then I started to realize that Prabhupada's purports, the Acharya's purports, they all play a very important role in actually helping us understand the intricacies of the episode. Okay, and it has to go deep into our heart. And if it has to go deep into our heart, we have to hear it multiple number of times. Then only realization can happen. Then only transformation can happen. And also new subtle things we would have missed on the episode here and there. That also gets revealed when we hear the pastime again. So these are all the benefits at the end of the day that we would be getting as a result of hearing a particular episode of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, so let's get into that story. I'll definitely cover to the extent possible, and then we can open up the forum for question and answers. Okay, so the two demigods, Nala Kuvera and Manikriva, they were the son of the treasurer of demigods, Kuvera, and he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. So by the grace of Shiva, Lord Kuvera got a lot of material opulences, and as you know, rich man's son, they tend to develop some sort of addiction to something because they are rich. And here we see the two demigods, they were desiring to enjoy, and they entered the garden of Lord Shiva in a province of Kailash on the Mandakini Ganges. There, what happened? They were completely intoxicated, and they entered into the waters of the Ganges, and they began to enjoy the company of the young girls. Just as how an elephant enjoys female elephants within the water, like that they were enjoying. And while they were enjoying in the water, all of a sudden, Narada Muni happened to pass that way. It's a great blessing, isn't it? He could not understand, of course, these demigods, the Nala Kuvera and Manikriva, they were too intoxicated and they could not even understand who was passing by, if that was the state of them. But the young girls, they were not as intoxicated as the demigods. As soon as they saw Narada Muni, they were very ashamed. Oh my God, we are naked here and how sage is here. So they covered themselves up with haste. The two demigods, the sons of Kuvera, they were completely, because of the intoxication, they could not appreciate the presence of the sage. And hence they didn't even cover their bodies. So on seeing the two demigods, so the Narada Muni, looking at them, he actually desired their welfare. And therefore, he exhibited what? His causeless mercy upon them. By what? By cursing them. So curse is not necessarily going to give you distress all the time. That is what this episode proves. Here, the curse is a blessing. And why it's a blessing, we are going to see now. So the great sage Narada was very compassionate upon them, and hence he wanted to finish their false enjoyment of intoxication and association with these young girls, and wanted them to see Lord Krishna eye to eye, have a direct darshan of Krishna eye to eye. He convinced of cursing them as follows. He said, the attraction of material enjoyment is due to what? It is due to, we all know, it is due to mode of passion. A person in this material world, when he is favored by lot of riches, lot of opulence, generally what happens to him? he of course gets addicted to intoxication, sex, and gambling. This is what material people who have lot of wealth do, isn't it? So, and they think themselves that they will never die. So it's Prabhupada says it's just so foolish because they are forgetting the laws of nature and they become infatuated with their body. They forget that the material body, they forget that they are the souls, and obviously they consider themselves to be the body. And this is what is going on with them. And because of this, they fall down very badly. In the next birth also, these foolish people, they are going to commit sinful activities on the account of the temporary body. Because of their bodily identification, they are going to be born again in a very sinful way. So, and then Prabhupada gives this example to say, an advantage of poverty is that a saintly person can enter into a poor man's house. And thus the poor man can take association of the saintly person. But when it comes to an opulent man, he is not going to allow the saint to enter into his house, isn't it? So he's going to be deprived of his association. But then a mendicant, when he goes to a poor man's house begging to an householder, he can actually enter the house and give so much knowledge. And the association with the devotee transforms people's hearts. So in that way, a poor person is able to get the association of a saint and he's going to transform himself. In a similar fashion, Narada Muni has come to these puffed up people who are so intoxicated at the same time. They are puffed up because of their material opulence, and Narada Muni is going to give them a great benediction. I mean, of course, it is a curse, but this is in turn going to be a benediction to them. So Narada Muni, what did he do? Narada was compassionate. Oh, I have to somehow, these people are so ignorant. They are blindly doing something and they are not even aware that I am present before them. They just stand naked. So these people have to become responsible. Right now, they are animalistic, irresponsible. They are completely in intoxication and they are not even trying to cover the lower part of their body because of the association with the women. They have become degraded. So I am better going to give them, I'm going to give them the darshan of Krishna. See, because they were naked, they are given a form of a tree. The Narada Muni cursed them to become a tree for 100 years in the time of demigods. So that after the 100 years, they'll be fortunate enough to have a darshan of Krishna eye to eye. This is the causeless mercy of Narada Muni. Again, it is helping us understand that anything that happens to a devotee, right? In this case, these demigods, the demigods were given causeless mercy by Narada. So even a curse can be a benediction, and it definitely proved to be a benediction for Nalakuvira and Manigriva. So we all know that episode. I'm not going to go into that episode, how Krishna knew that Narada was his great devotee, and the trees that are standing before them, they are twin Arjuna trees. They are all sons of Kuvera. Krishna knew all that. And in order to fulfill the words of his great devotee Narada, he began to actually go in that direction to the passage between the two trees. So we all know the episode, right? The large mortar was stuck horizontally between the trees, and taking advantage of this, Krishna began to pull the rope which was tied to the mortar. As soon as he pulled it with great strength, what happened? The two trees, the branches and the limbs, they fell down immediately with a great sound. The fallen trees, out of that came Nalakuvira and Manigriva. All the sites became illuminated and beautiful, and became beautiful because of the presence of them. They now became completely purified. And after they saw Krishna, what did they do? They offered respects to Krishna and started telling prayers to Krishna. So this is how Narada Muni is no ordinary soul. Anybody whom he comes across with, he gives them the knowledge of pure devotion. And somehow he gives bhakti to them. That is why he is known for his bhakti shakti. Narada is known for his bhakti shakti, and the mercy that he gives is causeless. And he is giving us also this causeless mercy by narrating all these episodes. which our acharyas are able to convey to us. Each and every episode where Narada Muni comes to us, he comes to us and personally advises that this is the case, my dear devotees. You have to definitely avoid these things. And in order to proceed to the next level of devotional service, this is what should be done. Every instruction of Bhagavatam is a personal instruction to all of us, dear devotees. That is why, every episode is illustrated in such a way that it can actually enhance this component of faith in us. Each and every episode enhances the component of faith. It is not easy. Every episode, it is enhancing the faith component. So we have to be really thankful to all our acharyas who have given us this treasure to help us get to the next stage, next stage, like that. We have a path laid down. All we have to do is just put in a little bit of effort, develop that eagerness and hankering to hear Krishna Katha. That way, we will definitely be put in a very good situation in the association of devotees, where we can all relish this Katha together. So I think I'll probably stop now, because we just have 5 minutes, and then open up the forum for questions. So I'll not be able to cover the other theme on chanting, but that's perfectly fine. We'll look at it at some other class. Right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. I wanted to actually say hi to Path Prabhu. I wanted to say this during the beginning of the class. Very good to see you, Prabhuji, after a very, very long time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It is my apology. I was not joined many classes due to some reason, but it is not some due to some responsibility and something, because so many visiting devotees from India and from UK, they are visiting, so that. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you to have your
nice
association.
You all release your Nectarian lecture of the Narada Muni and others. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, are there any questions? I know we just have 2 or 3 minutes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Lakshmi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, very nice to see you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thanks for your wonderful class today with Prahlad's story, gratefulness and trust. And we have to stop talking the mundane things. Thank you so much. And I have one question, Mataji. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it might be very simple or might be too much to my level. So these Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all demigods and everyone's they are all just positions, right? It's not that particular soul always being occupied. It depends upon, like, it's just a position that can be occupied by any suitable, qualified soul who have done that much bhakti. So is Narada Muni position, is that also a position like Narada Muni? That's a position that any soul will come and sit, or it's always
I think Narada is the Jiva Tattva, Mataji. Narada is the Jiva Tattva. Meaning, if you look at so Brahmaji, Lord Shiva is Shambhu Tattva. Like that, Narada, he is the Jiva Tattva, and he is given this empowerment to actually preach the holy names of the Lord. I mean, he is given that empowerment. That Jiva is empowered. That is why we call him as Satyaveshavatar, where he is being empowered to do a particular task. In the material world, we see, right? We see people are doing some extraordinary things. And for them, we say vibhutis. Vibhutis means these are, because of the vibhutis of Krishna, they are able to perform activities which are extraordinary. Like that, certain individual, Lord empowers them very much. Because of his empowerment, Lord's empowerment, he is able to do wonders. And that is why Narada, he is able to go travel with his Veena all around, and he is able to influence them and take them to the path of bhakti. He's able to influence so many devotees like that. Lord has given this empowerment to that person, and it's a Jiva Tattva, and Narada is not a role. Like Brahma is the role. We have to have 100 years of Varnashrama, perfection in Varnashrama in order to get to that role of Brahma. Like that, Narada is not a role. He's a Jiva Tattva empowered by the Lord, and he is Satyavesh Avatar. This is the understanding, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. And one more information, like I am joining office Monday. So please bless me, Mataji. I have to continue Bhagavad Seva. And
Yes.
Itida Mataji, I will try to join my 10 o'clock time. My 10 o'clock, so morning it would be peak meeting times. But I'm praying to Krishna that I should be able to make it up for Bhagavatam class. Please bless me, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
We will definitely pray for you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The only thing what a devotee aspires is that, see, this work is non-different from your, see, this is secondary limb of devotional service. The work that we do, it may not be the primary. The primary are the 9 processes of devotional service. And work, when we actually cultivate the consciousness that we are serving, we are doing this work to actually serve the Lord, to go to the dhams, to actually give charity, to serve our family who are Krishna conscious devotees. When we work in this mindset, this actually becomes a secondary limb of Krishna consciousness. So the work is not different from Krishna consciousness. We are still in the devotional service. It's just a secondary limb. According to Bhaktivinoda Thakura in Chaitanya Shikshamrita, he says this is a secondary limb. Even the act of excretion that we perform. Why? Because without excretion, if excreta is in the body, it's going to cause trouble to us. We will not be able to perform devotional service. Even that is the secondary limb, the act of excretion. So we don't have to distinguish between this and that. But what we pray to the Lord is that it has to be anukul to devotion, meaning we still should be able to focus on our primary limbs of devotional service, which is what a devotee aspires for, and be able to get that nourishment of hearing, be able to satisfactorily perform our regulative principles, be able to chant nicely. All this has to be anukul to our, primary limbs. That's all a devotee prays for, and it will be perfectly fine, Mataji. Since you have that desire, definitely Krishna will look into your desire and he will take care of it. The intensity with which we pray will take care of that particular desire of yours. So I will also certainly keep you in my prayers, and hope the devotees also pray to Mataji, for her, new job, and for that to be favorable for Krishna consciousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, congratulations. You are going deeper into Krishna consciousness, as Mataji has just said. So, and we record our sessions. So I hope you have the link, and we put the sessions on the YouTube, so you can catch up, Mataji.
Yes,
we will be thinking of you, because you have in a short time you have really made an impact on our group, and we have really been blessed by your association. So whenever you can join, Mataji, please do join us. And I'm sure at 10 o'clock over there, even if you are in a meeting, you'll be thinking. So that is your manana for Krishna as well. So anything we can do for you, Mataji, please let us know. And we'll be thinking of you as well. So,
thank you, Mataji.
on
Definitely
weekends you can join us.
Yeah, Saturday, Sunday, definitely I will be joining, and whenever possible, I will just jump over there, skipping if I could push it. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Any more questions or comments? If there are no more questions or comments, I know that we have extended our time by 3 minutes. I'll hand over to Path Prabhuji. Path Prabhuji, kindly take over and end the session. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji. We know the desireness of the devotees instead of a busy schedule and so many challenges of the time difference also, but you are coming here. It is showing the interest, and we are the real path. Also, we pray for the God to giving us a right vision, right strength, and proper association so we can progress in devotional service. Thank you very much, Radhika Kasturi Mataji, for your nice and wonderful class. about the Narad Muni, the pastime of Narad Muni, how the glorifying the Narad Muni and also chanting all the time in Narayana, Narayana. The all time he glorifying the Krishna's name, Narayana name, and the pastime of Nalkuber and Manigriv, how they delivered, like you are told, like a devotee's course is not the course, that is the ultimate blessing, how we supposed to be connected to the God. So anytime, maybe sometimes there is some, we think there is not favorable, not be favorable for our situation, maybe some Apple situation is not favorable, but maybe we supposed to consider it will be anukul, like favorable for us for our future progress. Thank you very much, Mataji. Also, thanks very much about the gratitude of Prahlad Maharaj, how he was in all the adverse situation, but still he is how elevated stage we can know as a 5-year-old boy, and by the instruction of Narad Muni, and he is highly elevated in the Paramhans level. And what is the mind state? He saw every adverse situation is the positive. How gratitude to all the circumstance, all the situation. We pray. Maybe it comes a little, even 1% or the 0.0001, then we'll be elevated. Also, very nice about the same time, Hiranyakashipu mentioned how he's thinking, oh, the devotees are not angry at me. I'm giving so much problem, so much torture, but he still favor me, he love me. How it is possible? And he's not fearful of me. So this is the what is the mindset of the two person, one a devotee, one a demon. Thank you very much. Very nice class. And also, like you were told, the first instruction, we have supposed to have faith on the speaker, what he speak, on the shastra, the scriptures, maybe Bhagavatam or Srimad Bhagavatam, even Ramcharitmanas, even Shiv Puran, Durga Puran, whatever it may be, we have supposed to have faith. The speaker, Bhakta, or the God and the scriptures. Otherwise, it not be related. It just go away above our head. We have not released anything. It's not come to our heart. It's also be very submissive way. We're supposed to be thankful that. And also, like you are told, we are just cover the conversation. This is chapter 6, the conversation between Narad Muni and Vyasadeva. And we know Narad Muni is very dear to everyone. And even he is very favorable to also demons also. Demon and demigod both. How a devotee is mental like that. He also giving this thing, oh, Kalsa, you know, this is he is the son, is killed you. Devati's son will kill you. Why you release them? This is so much things. We sometimes a builder, how it is happened. Also, I builder, oh, as a great sages like Narada, how he is going here and there, like he doing something, these things, and making disturbance. But it's a reason behind it. But how we can just judge how Narada Muni is a great devotee, but he is very favorable and very dear to both demons and demigods. So thank you very much, Mataji, for your nice class to recap all the things, and hope we will all the devotees knows, even they are missing many classes, but at least at the end of the class they can know how the glorification of Narada Muni, but the power of a devotee, and when he is chanting all the time, and Krishna's blessing, by the Krishna, God's blessing, is very dear to everyone. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everyone. I also thanks all the devotees. Please unmute yourself and chant Hare Krishna mantra for glorification of our Krishna, Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Please join. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Vancha kalpatarurubhyascha kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Our Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji ki jai.
All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much for all your time. Hare Krishna. And beautiful summary, Parth Prabhu. You don't take notes, but you just have everything here, and that is good enough. You know, that's the power of devotee like you. Thank you so much for your beautiful association, and glad you're back. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, everybody.